This is the items that you can get from a DIY friction exploration set. So there will be a very simple spring balance. This is not going to be a very accurate spring balance. It's only giving you some rough values of the force and friction that you'll get later, and then is to compare whether it's going to be stronger or weaker using this spring balance. We got some weights, depends on the availability. Sometimes the supplier will give you nuts, sometimes they'll give you washer. For this experiment we are going to use washer. Then this is the base plate, and then we have some wheels and sandpaper. So let's talk about this particular spring balance first. Now this spring balance is to compare forces, so it's not accurate. So take note that this marker you can adjust. So if you have gotten this and let's say it is here, don't worry, you can actually adjust it, right? Make sure it's at the most no force situation. Then you drag this particular marker all the way to the 0 mark here. Slightly more, yeah, and that you can start the experiment. Okay, so when you're pulling this thing, take note, do not have too much torque, because once you turn this one, right, you just follow this direction, do not twist it. Once you twist it here, the plastic will knock against each other. Yeah, here the plastic will knock against each other, then you create more friction. So you have to pull it very, very smoothly, right? And when you pull, do not pull at an angle like this, it's not going to be accurate. You are supposed to pull horizontal to the floor. Okay, now we'll start the experiment soon. To start off with the experiment, firstly you must get a string. You'll be given a string. Then you push this string through the hole here, then push the other end through the hole here, right? Then you tie it using a very simple knot so that you can get a loop. Later you'll need to use your spring balance to pull this loop. Something like that. So later you'll drag here. Okay, so now we have this surface. Now it depends on your surface, so you'll pull this particular spring balance pull. Now sometimes you may not get any value here because it's so smooth, so you can get the weight that's given to you like this. Then you put now you see some value, right? So it's this value that's moving here, indicates I think it's about 20. Then you'll move. So this surface you need 20. Now let's increase the friction between this block and the floor with sandpaper. Remember, now it's 20. Okay, for a fair test, now the weight is still the same, the object is still the same, but we use sandpaper now. So we want to see an increase in the friction, and therefore the force here that you need to pull will be higher. So now we put it on the sandpaper, then we pull. You find that the value goes very high, right? Cannot be recorded actually before you can pull it. So this shows that the friction becomes very, very high. So this particular experiment here is to compare the surface texture of the surface. The rougher the surface texture, the higher is the friction. Now we want to see the effect of wheels. right, to prove that wheels reduces friction. So you're given wheels and axle here, so we push this through here, then get another wheel to press it down, so that now we get the front two wheels, and then use this, right, with this we get a back two wheel, press them together. Yeah, so now we continue with the experiment that we have left off last time. So we have two weights here. For the last time when you pull, we find that this one goes beyond the limit. So now when we add wheels, what will happen? Okay, look at the value. Now is 0. We pull. Oh, it's only about 2 or 3. To show us that once we have wheels, the friction actually reduces a lot. See the value again, right here. Yeah, it's only 2 or 3 to move instead of off limit. Yep, so this particular experiment tries to tell you that with wheels we reduce the friction between the two surfaces. Here we try to compare or investigate the effect of weights on the block. So without weights on this rough surface, when we pull, we find that the value is about, let's do one more time. So remember, with when we are pulling this object along the frictional surface, you may get very jerky answer, so we just take the average. So we just pull constantly. Is about, alright, because of the bulging of this particular sandpaper, we just continue pushing. You can get some value is between 10 to 30, sorry. So now what happens if we add weights on it? When we add weights, we find that it's very difficult to pull. It goes beyond the limit.